past 5:30. I've got a different camera angle going on. I don't know if it's going to work or not. If you have a hard time seeing or hearing me, let me know. But I wanted to do a different camera angle. What I have is just a tin can. This is something that a fake succulent came in. You could use a Campbell's tomato soup can that you're taking the label off of. You could use an old flower pot. You could use anything that's heavy enough to be the base for what you're fixing to make. And it doesn't have to be very heavy because what we're actually making is super, super, super light. The next thing you're going to need is a coat hanger. So you need a can of some sort, a soup can that you've cleaned, an old teacup, an old coffee mug, an old planter, anything. It doesn't matter. I just happen to have this that a fake succulent came in. Going to use it. Then you need a coat hanger. You're going to twist this into a loop. And when we get a few more people in here, I've had so many people ask me questions about Ryan lately. I thought, well, I'll just finally go ahead and jibber jabber a little bit. What I do is I just twist this into a loop like this, because what I'm going to do is then I'm going to stretch this out. And then I'm going to turn it like that. And I'm going to put a slight curve in it down here before it straightens back up and goes straight again. And you want these to be almost as close as possible. Now you're going to kind of tie them together, but you still want them to be kind of close as possible. So that's all I've done. It's not gorgeous, it's not pretty, it's not anything, but it made a nice wide base. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour a butt ton of glue down here. Probably could have let my glue gun get a little bit warmer, but that's okay. I literally put like a third of a stick of glue down there. That's sad, isn't it? And then you're going to put your anchor down there and let it get nice and cool to where it's held. I'm just putting some extra glue over some of the spots. Now you're gonna fill this with, you can pack it with newspapers, toilet paper. It doesn't matter what you pack it with. You're gonna fill the edges up. You're gonna fill the edges up, and it's not gonna matter what you pack it with. So now what you have is your can with your coat hanger being slowly gluing down in there. And don't be afraid to use the glue, y'all. That's what it's made for. And if you see some spots that need a little bit more anchoring, just go for it. Now then, I'm going to let them in it. What I'm going to do is, what actually came in this was these sponges that actually came with the little succulents that came in these fake things. So I'm going to use the sponges around the edge of my coat hanger. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're not going for perfect. So now we have a can with a coat hanger glued in the middle of it with stuff packed around it. And if you think you need more stuff, you can put more stuff. The third thing that you're going to need, which is the final thing you're going to need, you can embellish it if you want to. You're going to need those plain sandwich bags, those little ones that just barely fold over that nobody wants to take their sandwich in because they get soggy. You're going to take all those. You're going to take about a bag, and you're going to cut them in half to where they're just little triangles on each side. And the flap that folds over, don't worry about it. I cut on mine and I put them in this bag. And what you're going to do is you're going to start at the base, and you're just going to tie it like you start tying a shoe. Just like you start tying a shoe. And some people like to do both sides of the coat hanger. Hey, if you got that time, go right ahead. I don't have that time. It's 5:30 and I've still got to give a pug a haircut tonight. So I don't have that time. But if you got that time, you go right ahead. You go right ahead and do that. And this just takes a little bit of time. But once you get it stacked on and pushed really far down there, it looks really, really pretty. And it makes a really pretty iridescent looking tree. So I only have a little, I don't know how much battery I have, but I just wanted to show you all how to do this and get enough started to where y'all could tell, you know, what it was going to look like. You don't have to worry about what the bottom looks like because your tree is going to actually cover that up as you make it. And then you can add some Spanish moss or some little ornaments underneath there. You could even take a little piece of fabric and make a faux tree skirt to put under there, just like it was a big tree. But you just keep taking these little sandwich bags that you've cut in half and you just keep tying. Let me tip this down so you can see what I'm doing. You just keep taking these little sandwich bags that you cut in half and you just keep tying them. I'll throw this back a little bit so I can get to it a little bit more easily. So, and I never double tie. I just do one tie and I squish them down. And like I'm leaving, there'll be more room on this side. So I might add a little reindeer, a little ornament, a little old bauble of some kind that I've still got left over from years gone by. And, you know, I might put it there for this year to take up some space. Or I might just decorate it and put a bottle tree next to it. Or something else. Might make a little gnome and sit beside it. Oh my gosh, am I talking about gnomes? Somebody come smack me right now because I'm talking about gnomes. I can't believe I said I was just going to make a gnome to sit on this. Oh my goodness. But anyway, you just keep tying. And when it gets all done, what you'll do is you'll shape it with your scissors up into a tree shape. And if you can add lights or you don't have to add lights. If you add lights, use the LED lights. I use these little cork ones because you can hide this really easily. And these are multicolor and they do not get hot. So you don't have to worry about them getting, oh, they're bright white. My bad. You don't have to worry about them getting, look how much that makes that glow. You don't have to worry about them getting hot because these lights do not get hot. So I figure as many of those things as I spend and put on other people's crafts that I make for them, I might as well use some on my own, you know? Okay, so now that we're getting a little bit higher, I can tip the camera back up to me. But this is just what you do. You just keep tying, and then when you get it all tied, you shape your tree. Let me tip this back up toward me a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so everybody keeps asking me, hey, you haven't talked about Ryan in a long time. Well, I haven't talked about Ryan in a long time because Ryan seems to be taking care of his business and doing quite well. I spoke about last year when he opened up about the trauma that was happening, the crisis that was happening in his family, because he opened it up and he kind of wanted people to learn from it. And I took that as a cue to say, hey, buddy, that's great. If you're willing to share this and help other people see the warning signs, that's great. I'm there with you. I'll do it too. But the fans really got mad at me because here's the thing. When you're really somebody's like super fan, like, and you don't see them, you see them as more than just a human being, which is a dangerous thing. When we start seeing people as more than just, you know, our fellow man, boy, it can create some problems. And I discussed that. You know, I discussed some of the issues that I felt was going through Creek Squad and how Creek Squad was being manipulated by certain parties, and it was more of a soap opera than it was a fan club. And I think now it's calmed back down because Ryan has calmed back down. And yes, I know we're all fiercely protective of Ryan. I adore him. I want him to do well, and I think he's on the road to doing well. You know, he still has some circular problems that, you know, he's always coming back to certain problems. There are certain problems that he always rotates back to. And I do wish he would kind of go and speak to somebody about that so that he could get out of that pattern, because that cyclical pattern is, it's very difficult to live in. And it shows that there may be something else going on that may need to be taken care of. You know, just just addressing an issue sometimes can make it go away. Literally, just acknowledging an issue can sometimes make an issue become less of a problem. And so I wish you would just kind of talk to somebody. But that's not my decision to make for him. That's his decision to make. And so, when he started having to go through some very serious things with his family, I thought, well, it's time for me to not talk about that because that's private, and that has to go through court. And we as fans, no matter how mad we are, we have to sit here, shut up, and let that go through court because we are not the court and we are not the law. Now, his last several videos, he's back to his old way of thinking. I love the way the boy's brain ticks. He is, for me, someone that I love to remind other kids with ADHD, hey, if you can turn that to work and make it work for you, you can have a superpower. Because ADHD, while some people always like to try to make it a negative, it has some very positive things to it. It means you're an excellent multitasker. It means that you think outside of the box. It means that you don't always see things the same way as everyone else. It means that you can create things that other people can't create. It means that you can have ideas that other people can't even fathom. And those are very important things, especially in this day and time where we seem to be just a society of mirror images, which is kind of sad to say that, but we seem to be a society of mirror images. And no, I've not. I've watched a couple of his videos, the last couple, and I left a comment, and he liked it. And he still, I think, notices my comments when I put them there, and I think he knows that I want the absolute best for him. But it just got a bit too much for me last year. Now, at this wide spot, I'm going to do each side just for the wide spot, just because if I go around the whole wide spot, it'll make my paper bags or my plastic bags too short. But I have not really been following him super closely because of my own health issues and everything that I've been going through the last little bit. Well, since we lost Granny in the summer, and then my health issues, and then Mama's knee replacement, and it's just been really rough here in my neck of the woods this year. It's been a very busy year. And so I've not followed him that much. I was saddened when he and Beth broke up because I thought Beth was, I used to fuss with him and tell him to stop picking the flaming hot Cheeto girls because they'll burn your butt every time, to pick a nice classic salt and vinegar that goes with everything. And I really felt that maybe Beth was that person for him, but I don't know. Maybe she wasn't. I don't know. I've heard some people say that they're back together. I can't verify that. I don't know. I've not seen anything myself to say yes or no, that's true or not. But I do hope he finds happiness and love. Personally, I think until he deals with that cyclical issues that keep coming around, because sometimes when we have a life that is doesn't have a lot of structure, and I'm not saying that to be disrespectful. I'm saying that he works his butt off. I mean, he works his butt off, but on his schedule. And a lot of us don't have that. We have a routine that is imposed upon us. And so sometimes when you have the freedom to dictate your own schedule, you also have your own freedom to dictate your own drama. And we don't always notice that. And people like you and I that are normal that work, well, I don't anymore, but we used to work 40 to 80 hours a week. We would still have time to create our own drama. But it seems more prevalent in those that have the ability to kind of fund their own livelihood. And that's just something that he may want to think about. Maybe a smart decision to talk to somebody about, hey, I keep having these specific issues. I keep having these specific emotional or trust issues or relationship issues. And how do I move beyond this? How do I make changes in myself or my life to where I don't gravitate toward these things anymore? How do I make better decisions to where I surround myself with better people, or I choose better partners? That may be something that he, would benefit from talking to somebody about. But I think he is super intelligent. I think that he has a heart of gold. I think he has a brilliant mind. I love the way that he does not think like everyone else. I love the way that he paints pictures with his lyrics. I really love that here lately he's been spending a whole lot more time with JJ Lawhorn, because I've got the messages, but I wouldn't dare show him. I've got the messages to Kelsey and JJ begging them to do a duo with Ron, because JJ Lawhorn is one of my favorite singers of all time. I found JJ mostly because of we both, our families are both big hunting families and outdoorsmen and stuff like that, and ran across him completely by accident, loved his music, and have become quite friends. Matter of fact, I still have a baby blanket I need to mail. Oh my God, JJ, I'm sorry. I'm so far behind. But I'm glad that he's spending more time with JJ, because JJ is a very grounded person. He is somebody who is very self-assured of who he is, and it's not going to be changed by anyone. And he does not pin into the drama. Matter of fact, he stays away from it, runs from it, and shoots it down if it comes toward him. And he's not been one to be very put himself in the middle of drama, unless he might take his music to a couple of places where he's testing his music. But personally, he seems to have a very down low, just quiet life. And if you tie these and you tear them, don't worry, you won't be able to tell by the time you get done. Now, every once in a while, I push it down, I fluff it, and then I turn it, and I kind of twist them to where they're not all tied the same way. Now, I'm telling you, it looks like crap now, but when I get this finished and I post a short and show you the picture, it's going to be gorgeous, especially after I put my little dollar string of lights on it. Now, if you put lights, make sure you put the LED that do not get hot, okay? That's very important. Do not put lights on this that will get hot, because it will melt your wreath, your tree. Do not do that. That can be dangerous. So always use LED lights, and you can decorate it any way you want to. These are actually really easy to make, really cute. They make a great hostess gift. I know it looks kind of sad right now, but I'm here to tell you, when I get done pimping it out, it's going to be adorable, and you're going to be like, man, I wish somebody would bring me one of those when I host a party. These are really cute. My kids made me some wreaths like this back when they were, in middle school. I still have them, and they still look just as gorgeous. I keep them in a Tupperware Christmas bin every year and pull them back out, and they look just as pretty as they did the night we made them. I think they actually look prettier the older they get. They don't change color, but they take their shape better, and they hold their shape better. So, and about one large box of sandwich bags will make one wreath and one tree. So that gives you a good estimate of what you may want to look for. Now, one wreath, if you just want to make a wreath, just make the coat hanger into a round, or go get you one of those green rounds at the Dollar Tree. I say use a coat hanger, because, good grief, do this the cheapest way possible. Nobody's going to be able to tell it's a coat hanger in there when we get done anyway. But anyway, that is my last thoughts on Ron. I know there's been so much stuff said about him and his family, and I really just wish him well. I wish his family was not going. I saw a family going into crisis. I saw a family going into trauma and crisis mode, and it broke my heart. And he was brave enough to put it out there and to say, hey, this happens to people like me too. And I was like, hey, guys, this is your chance to learn. These are warning signs. These are red flags. Does your family have these red flags? Do you need to talk to your family? Is this something that you can maybe stop before it happens in your world? He's being super brave by letting us see what's going on in his world. How can it benefit your world? And I commend him for always being brave enough to kind of just openly tell us what's going on. I think sometimes his heart gets the better of him, but sometimes it's a fault, but sometimes it's not. It's hard to really be upset with somebody whose heart gets the better of them, because at the end of the day, that's a good person, that's a good soul. Hi, Denise. We're doing a really cheap Christmas craft that anybody can do. It takes a coffee mug, a tomato soup can that you've painted or left. I don't know if you like them silver, leave them silver. A coat hanger, and a bag of those old cheap sandwich, or a box of those old cheap sandwich bags, and we're making a tree. Now, you will have to give it a haircut, but that's about the hardest thing you're going to have to do. Oh, my Lord, I'm going to have to give this tree a haircut and Oscar a haircut tonight. why did I do that to myself? I wasn't thinking. But I really think that Ron is on a healthier path. I think what happened hurt him. I mean, that's painful, to find out that you've been duped by people that you should trust. But it also makes you leery to trust the right people, and sometimes it makes you trust the wrong people because it makes you question who you've trusted your entire life. And then you don't know who to trust because the skills you created to trust people have proven faulty. And so, he's going through some stuff right now too, trying to figure things out. And I just try to leave him alone because he seemed to be in a healthier place once he got through kind of the shock of everything. And I thought, well, he doesn't need someone else talking about him. I appreciated that he shared that with his fans, and then he showed him it doesn't matter how much money, fame, or, power you think you have in society, crap happens to everybody. And I think it was very brave of him to say that. And I'm not gonna lie, I was concerned about him a few times with some of the phrases that he chose to say and some of the word choices he had, some of the behaviors I witnessed. But once the crisis kind of showed, I thought, okay, that's where all that's been coming from. But that's still a lot to digest. And sometimes when we have such trust issues because of people that we love that are close to us that have done harmful things, sometimes it makes it hard for us to trust or to get into really trusting relationships. And it makes it super easy for us to build resentment just on a moment's notice. And it's because we're scared to trust. And so we build resentment toward people. About the time we think we're about to fall in love, we find something that is a deal breaker, and we start building that resentment, and it's not going to happen. It's just not going to work. It's just, and I wonder sometimes if that may be some of his relationship baubles and stuff, but that's just me thinking out loud. And if he wants to listen to my thinking, he's more than welcome to. And if he disagrees, that's absolutely fine. He knows himself, and I'm sure he's got close people that he can confide within. And honest to Pete, now since he's got JJ in his life, I feel much better because JJ has been in a very concrete relationship with Kelsey for a number of years, and they have 2 children together. And so it's a really good, not role model, because he doesn't need a role model. It's just a really good reflection of kind of what trust and a relationship looks like. And it's good to have friends that have those, especially friends that also have your somewhat daytime job issues. So it may be good that, he's built this new relationship and friendship with JJ Lawhorn. And I'm really excited I know they've always kind of known each other, but I'm really excited that they're really gravitating toward each other because I think that they're 2 powerhouses that are going to be around for a long time. I love JJ's attitude of he is not changing for anyone. And I love Ryan's attitude of, question everything and look at everything, as in as many ways as possible and question things. So I think that they'll do wonderful things together because they will kind of lead each other to different perspectives and ideas. So I think we're going to see a shift in the music and some really good raw emotion music come out pretty soon. And of course, I've been pretty impressed with the last couple that's come out. So I think it's just going to continue and get better and better. And I also think that, there for a while when Ryan was talking about all the Elvis stuff, and it's so dangerous to put yourself on that pier with other people like that and to think of yourself in that way and almost to like plan out your own demise because you're idolizing somebody. And that kind of freaked me out a little bit, but it seems like he's worked through that problem as well. So, but I think he is one of the best lyricists. And I'm not a huge rap person. I love his country stuff, but I will even listen to his rap stuff because of his lyrics, his word choices, his flow, I guess you would say. I would call it the iambic pentameter, but his flow, his word choices, and some of the actual phrasings that he uses that are specific to us country people, and we get the joke before anybody else does. I really appreciate that with Ryan. I really appreciate that. So for everybody that's been like, you've not talked about Ryan forever, I got a life too. I got a lot going on. I've got a neuromuscular disorder that's spreading to my organs. I've got to get healthy because I've got one grandbaby here, and my daughter's got two on the way. She's pregnant with twins that are coming in late March or early April. And we've just got a lot of stuff going on in our family, and I don't always have time to, follow people. And I've known, famous people, and so the fandom doesn't hit me the same way it hits other people, I guess, because I know they're just normal people, and sometimes they're lonely normal people, and they just need a good friend. And I wouldn't wish I wouldn't wish fame on my worst enemy, because it comes with some really good stuff, but it also comes with some really bad stuff. And I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. And the people that choose to navigate it, I'm very respectful of them, because I know that they have very difficult lives. And I know that they live a lifestyle that is almost unimaginable for most of us. We can't imagine what they go through day to day, and how different their life is from ours, and how sometimes emotionally cut off they are from the people they don't need to be emotionally cut off from. So, I worry about them. But I've also seen people go through fame and do great and make great choices, and have healthy lives and have healthy personal lives. And that's my hope for Ryan, is that he gets there and gets to a place where he is happy and he has the happiness that he deserves, because I believe he deserves to be happy. I want him to just take some time and be happy, and worry about him and not worry about the fans. I know he worries about the fans so much, and I mean, we appreciate that, but at the same time, you got to make yourself a priority. If you're going to have a good life, you have to prioritize yourself and your life that you want to have. You have to make the visions and the dreams that you have come true in your personal life just as well as your professional life. And so I'm hoping that will happen for him really soon. Things will calm down. And I think they have somewhat quite a bit. So, but I just haven't been talking about them because, there's some things that don't need to be talked about. There's some things that are great educational tools, especially for the age group of his fans, young adults, to learn some really great life lessons. And then there's some things you just don't need to talk about. And so the court stuff and all that, I'm not going to talk about that because it's got to go through court. And what we need to know will be in the court paperwork when everything's over. And so I'm not really interested in that until it goes through the system. Just let it go through the system. So that's why I have been just kind of quiet. I've been dealing with a lot of my own health problems and stuff like that. I do pay enough attention to know he's still doing good, and I do still listen to the music, and I do still, fall in love with the lyrics and the way that his mind works and the artwork that he does. I think it's great. Hi, guys. I don't know how much longer I'll be on. If I go really quick, it's because my battery died. But I wanted to do this craft really quick with you, because then I got to give Oscar a haircut. But I've been asked several times to do a little update on Ryan, and I was just kind of spilling my guts. But I think that Ryan's in a healthier place now. And I still have that much left over from, I cut up 2 sandwich bags, and I've done a huge wreath, or 2 huge wreaths, and this little tree. And I could probably do another tree easily. Okay, so now we want to fluff it, we want to twist it, we want to turn it, we want to look at it and say, okay, you got some problem spots, but we can work with it. We're kind of like the cosmetologist that doesn't tell the person they got really ugly hair. We just tell them we can work with it, and we can work with it. So I'm going to start down here at the lower, and I'm going to cut the stuff off that's just sticking way out, just way out beyond everything else. Now you want to leave one or two wild, little wild limbs, but you don't want all of them to be wild. And it's going to take this 3 or 4 days to really kind of start to take shape. Not, it's because you're going to kind of walk by it for 3 or 4 days and kind of zhuzh it and kind of help shape it and just kind of work with it for a while, because it's plastic bags. It's going to take a while to. These are just those cheap sandwich bags that fold over that nobody wants their sandwiches put in because they get soggy. And I bought 2 of the cheapest bags, and I cut them in half in triangles and diagonally, and I still have enough left over to make another one of these at least. You can also make little tiny tree ornaments for your tree, or for gifts, or for, if you have a church family, you want to take them a little something. This is something that's really inexpensive, but is, really cute, especially if you buy the little cheap ornaments, or even just put buttons on it. Oh, heck, I'd go crazy over a button tree. Bring me a button tree and I might just hug you. But this is just kind of giving it some shape and giving it a hairdo and making it look more like a tree and less like a blob. Now, I know that I'm going to put a star at the top of this, so I'm not super worried about what the shape of the rest of it is. But I just kind of went around and looked. I just kind of made it look like a tree. Nothing super special, nothing super difficult. And I'm going to use these solar lights that are bright white. Make sure that, not solar lights, LED lights. Make sure that if you do put lights on this, it is LED, because LED do not get hot. You do not want to put any lights on these if you make a tree or wreath that get hot, because it will melt your bags and be a potential hazard. So please be careful and be smart. These little LED lights do not put off any heat, and that's why I use almost all LED lights in my home when I decorate now, because they don't put off heat. And I don't have to worry when I leave the house and go, oh crap, did I leave that light on? Because it doesn't put off heat. LED lights are amazing. I mean, they're just amazing. Okay, so I'm going to untangle or undo these. And there's always one tangle. Always. Right in the middle. Always one tangle right in the middle. Always. I mean, I don't care if I opened 50,000 of these. They would every one have a tangle in the goddamn middle. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to put our little thing. We've got stuffing to hold. We've glued our coat hanger that we bent to the bottom of our can, and then we pack stuff around it. You can use newspaper, toilet paper, a polyfill. I don't care what you use. I'm gonna stick it down there behind there, and I'm gonna start wrapping these lights around. And I don't really know how far they're gonna go around, so I'm going to do it loosely at first in case I have to go back and get some more or realign. Yeah. Okay, I think we might have it about right. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to push those wires back behind the sandwich bag so you don't see them, because we want the iridescent glow coming from behind the bags. And I'm going to mostly focus on the side that it's the prettiest that I want to be seen. We're going to push these babies back in here. And I'm going to have to do a little bit more work when I get off of here with you. But I just want to show you what it looks like. Look at this. That's a sandwich bag tree. Now imagine it with a couple of ornaments and a couple of stars. Y'all, you don't have to be rich to craft. You don't have to always bring a super expensive present to a party. You don't always have to think that you've got to have Hobby Lobby crap to make stuff. You just got to have an imagination and a creative soul, and you just got to say, hey, that can look good. That can look good. That can look pretty. And you just kind of go and look where you've got them bunched up and you move them around a little bit. And that's so pretty. It's so pretty. And then I'm going to put some rested 10 stars. I'm going to put one big one at the top, a wooden big one at the top, and some rested 10 stars around. And that's going to be my centerpiece on my table. And on this side where it's got a little bit of extra, I'm going to put, I've got a deer, and I've got a couple of old, like vintage old ornaments that have been seen better days. Or I may make a little gnome to sit here. And God, I know I just said the word gnome, but I'm going to make a gnome to sit there. But this is going to be the centerpiece of my table. So see, that costed me nothing. That was a succulent, fake succulent came out of that. I used the sponges that was under the succulent to wedge against my glued in coat hanger. The coat hanger came from the uniform service that we have to use with my husband's uniforms. And I bought 2 boxes of sandwich bags and a $1 LED light. Y'all, get creative. It's Christmas. Give joy. You don't have to give financially rich presents. Just give joy and happiness. And when you give something handmade, people really appreciate it. Now I'm going to finish this. I'm going to zhuzh it up a little bit more, and then I'm going to dress it up and finish it up. And then I'll post a picture on the community page to show you what it looks like when it's completely done. But literally, if you've got cardboard, you could cut out cardboard rings and put around it. You can make cardboard circle ornaments. Your kids could trace their hands and use it at the top as the star, or use it at the bottom or around as the tree skirts. I got curtains that were 17 inches too long the other day. I cut the bottom off, and I may use part of that and make a tree skirt, and I may cut out some little rounds and just do a running stitch and make some little rosette ornaments. Who knows what I might get to doing. I'm also working on a dream catcher for Menopause and Madness right now. But y'all, presents don't have to be super, 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 super expensive. Isn't that cute? That is so cute. And when you get it decorated and get the tree skirt, it'll look so much cuter. Hi, Ashley. You're going to have to rewind and miss this one. We just made a craft that cost about $1. Well, actually, I've made 2 wreaths and this tree, and I still have half a bag. So it probably cost about 50 cents to make, plus the dollar string of lights from the Dollar Tree. So it cost about $2. And it is a sandwich bag Christmas tree, and you can make wreaths like this too. And I'm going to finish decking him out, and I'll leave a picture in the community page when I get him done being dressed up. And if you make any of these, please show us, put up a community post, or email me a picture at watersworkload@gmail.com, and I will share it with everybody if you want me to share it. And make yourself cute stuff. Don't make yourself expensive stuff. Expensive stuff doesn't make you happy. It's the things that make you happy are the things that touch your heart. And money doesn't touch your heart. You can, I can pick a flower that costs nothing, and it touches my heart way more than a diamond ring would. That's why my husband never buys me jewelry. So do stuff that you can make memories from and doesn't rob you of your finances. Christmas is not about, keeping up with the Joneses. Christmas is about finding the happiness in the spirit in the moment, and making sure that people understand the reason for the season. And it's a great time to strike up conversations about Jesus and about religion and about happiness and joy and the fruits of good lifestyles and good living. And it's that contentment that you feel in your soul that money can't buy. And that's why I make things out of sandwich baggies, and I make dream catchers, and and that's why I'm not out here. And I've been to Hobby Lobby twice in my whole life, and I liked it. I liked it a lot, but I can't shop there. I can't shop there. So I have to make my own stuff. So I make stuff out of nature and out of, the stuff that we can afford. Hey, Timu's great. I use a lot of my crafting stuff from Timu because I can get the same stuff, same product, probably from the same warehouse for like a fourth or a fifth of the cost. So Timu, you see me doing my Timu videos. Timu, it has done wonders for me. I appreciate them. They actually gave me pet products to review, so it's in the mail. And as soon as the pet products get here, Oscar's going to have 2 Christmases this year. He's going to be so happy. And so I'm happy to review the products because I've been shopping with them for about a year now, and I've only had like 4 times that I've had to say, hey, this broke in shipping, or hey, this is not what I expected, and they've immediately made it right. And I had someone leave a nasty remark about, oh, I'm helping a foreign agency steal information, and I was like, hold up, let's go and just Google the statistics here, okay? And I was like, oh, hey, Casey, I was like, let's Google the statistics. Let's look at who has had more breaches of consumer data over the last 10 years. I'll give you a hint. It starts with A. The second one starts with W. And the other ones you go to buy wood and flowers. And then down the list you go to buy shoes. So I'm telling you, and those were domestic. So our domestic companies and stores have had far more breaches than international stores, and I've not had any problems. But be smart. If you shop online, use an intermediate platform so that no one's getting directly into your funds. Sometimes it's just about having, 2 brain cells to rub together, get a little friction, get a little fire, and make a good decision. Some people just don't have that. I know I'm excited for the pet one too, because I got some stuff that I think that he'll really enjoy. He'll be 11 in February. We've had him, he was a rescue, and we got him when he was about 6 months old. So we made his birthday Valentine's Day because he was such a sweetie pie. So yeah, use a prepaid or go through an intermediary source, to where it has to be authenticated and you can trace it. You always want a paper trail, and you always want the ability to contest that charge. And not everybody understands that. And sometimes we make bad decisions as young adults, and consequences rarely come lubricated. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think the world should bow down to them and everything should go right. And that's not the way it goes. I might get hoodooed tomorrow. But the thing is I'm not going to come on here and blame it on just one business, because they're all doing it. They're all doing it. I mean, if they're spying on us, everybody is. Good grief. I sneezed the other day and my Echo Dot talked to me. I sneezed. Pretty sure I didn't say, hey, when I sneezed. So I only have this stupid thing because I have a neuromuscular disorder, and sometimes I have to have emergency help. So, but it's just stupid. It's just stupid. Yeah, and look at some of these new platforms coming up, like I want to say parallel universe, but that doesn't, it's like parallel payment. Tim Pool talks about it a lot. Some of these places that are a little bit more conservative and a little bit more open about how they monitor your money and do things. But when I worked in La Follette, Tennessee, I went to Lowe's to buy something on lunch break and got a letter in the mail 3 months later that I might have seen charges on my credit card. Thank God I watched my credit card like a hawk. And if so, it was a breach of data. And basically then it told me all the legal ways that they were not responsible. And I thought, well, I won't be back to there. And I've not been. But I thought, to tell me 7-8 months later via letter that, oh yeah, half a year ago we had a breach. You should have told me then. So, but I will say that parallel economy. Thank you. I will say that I have, the only reason I started doing the Temu seeding. I'm not an affiliate. I just do the seeding program where I do the videos, and if I do enough videos, then like them, they'll say, okay, we'll let you review these products and you can tell us what you think about them. So I'm not getting paid, no money switching hands. But I really like the products, and I use a lot of the products from household. I use some cleaning stuff. I use a lot of pet stuff, a ton of crafting stuff. And I use a lot of rugs and stuff because my husband works at automotive factory. Then he brings in that black powder and grease, and rugs come here to die. Rugs come to my house to die. So I've used a little bit of everything, and they've been very receptive, and they've not been very strict with me because I've been very honest. And I used almost all of their craft stuff to make Christmas presents this year. So, you know, there's always going to be somebody out there that's always going to hack and do something, and it's just the evil nature of man, and that's just what happens. Oh yeah, you can. Some of them now, if you don't have those certain protectors in your wallets, people have scanners, and the prepaid cards that you get at Dollar General, they had people that was putting massive money on them, and by the time they walked out the door, somebody had put a scanner somewhere. The money was going to another card, and people were sending it somewhere else, and they could never find it. And so Dollar General stopped, in my area, stopped selling the prepaid cards for like 6 months until they resolved the issue. And it's like someone's always going to be able. Let me have to plug my glue gun. Someone's always going to be able to find a way to hack the system and to take advantage of, the decent people. It's so easy. And if those people would put that effort toward being a good human, imagine what they could accomplish. But no, that's just you find, about 5% of the population that you just wonder why God spat into clay and molded them. I just wonder sometimes. I know you're not supposed to question God, but sometimes I wonder, and I have a curious nature. Sorry, but I had somebody put a very nasty comment, and I actually reported it for harassment and removed it. But half the thing is being smart enough to take care of yourself in this world, because let me tell you what, if you walk through the world stupid, people are going to take advantage of it every day. You got to walk through with a little bit of a skeptical nature and be a little bit more careful. Bad things happen. It could happen to me tomorrow, but I'm not going to throw a fit and blame it on everybody else. I'm going to blame it on the nature of man, because that's what it is. It's not a company. It's not a commerce scheme. It's the nature of man. And certain men will find every way to take everything from someone else. It's since we don't have land to conquer and people to conquer, and there are no Genghis Khans and great kings and lands and lords. Now we've got tech nerds and bank accounts. It's sad. It's real sad. It's very sad. That was a very creative way to do that. Did you see today that they put basically here's the thing: a conglomerate of charges that would equal 17 years of prison for a certain someone who likes international women and big rocks that you smash with credit cards. Now here's the thing I have. Here's the thing I have a problem with. If I had done one of the things he'd done, I'd be wearing orange the rest of my life. So I have questions. I try to play stupid a lot because it gets me a lot of information. And when I was a parole officer and supervised murders, I played stupid a lot because it got me a lot of information. If people think you're stupid, they will start to play you, and they will play you so haphazardly you will pick up on it, and you will get a wealth of information. And so I play stupid a lot. But the American people right now are being played. They're being played for giant jackasses. Let's just be quite honest. I mean, we all might as well be in our front yard braying like a donkey, because that's what they think we are. They think that we are so stupid that we don't know how to do anything but eat and poop and go to work and make money and give it to them. That's basically all they think that we know how to do. And they think that they can run all these schemes and all these scams and all these laundromats. Like somebody said, well, there was a war in Ukraine, and now there's a war in there. I was like, listen, it's the same washing machine. It's just in a different country, and we're putting quarters in it over there now instead of quarters in it over there. So we just switched. We just moved the washing machine. And they're like, oh. I said, yes. I said, and politicians like war because they make money. They create grants and contracts, and then they fill them out with their family members and business associates, and they make themselves wealthy when 99% of the population, you and I, are still trying to just, make it on pennies. And it's just like, it's stupid. It's stupid. But I mean, it's, if you've read history, it's the same thing. And even in history, here's a turn that history taught me. Even the most complacent people that was reported in history, like the Phoenicians, were said to be like the most calm, complacent, never warred, wanted to be left alone, kind, agreeing. When they started the archaeological exhumation and digging, they found huge, like thousands upon thousands upon thousands of ritualistically unalived children. And they know it was rituals because they were placed in urns with certain other religious artifacts. So these people that they thought were these kind, gracious, such non-warring, loving, just quiet neighbors. No wonder they were so quiet. Nobody wanted to make a sound because they thought they was going to be the next one to end up in an urn or a jar, with a leg of lamb. So it's all about, and they wrote that in history that they were like the most pleasant people, and now history has changed. So when are we going to rewrite the book on that one? And it's just we think a lot alike. And I'm sitting here going, so America has been this like bastion of glory for how many years? But have we really been? What have we really been? Because if you read about the Edgewood experiments, and you read about the 34 or 37 times that the government has purposefully, I'm trying to find my words that won't get me in trouble, purposefully played schemes on their citizens that could affect their mental, emotional, physical health without notifying them, then you start to wonder, are we really the land of the free and the home of the brave? Or are we the land of the gullible and the home of the, I don't know what, just kind of sedentary, and I run every once in a while. I run across somebody that really hates the way I live, and I'm like, well, why do you hate the way I live? Well, because what you're doing is wrong, and the way you live is wrong. And I'm just like, okay, well, where do you live? Well, I live in this metro area, and okay, well, I think living stacked on top of people in cubicles like rats is wrong, but that's your choice. So why would I say anything to you? I think walking amongst 2 million people in a city and being completely alone is wrong, but that's your choice. So why do you care about my life? I don't, I don't like yours, but it's yours. Go ahead and do it. But I have people that get really upset at the way I live, and then they're like, you're taking the indigenous people's ways, and I'm like, excuse me, I am indigenous. It's not my problem that I look like my father that is Irish. Genetics are strong. Epigenetics are even stronger. But the genetics are strong within me, and I look like my Irish father. But I do have a lot of native blood in me. And so they want to, and it's just, they see a freckle and they want to say, oh, you white person. And I'm like, white is the absence of all color. No one is white. No one's white. Because if we were, that would be the absence of every genetic possibility. It's impossible. So in our land right now, we have hatred against something that can't possibly exist. And yet 30% of the population is absolutely just gnawing on that bone every day. I'm clear. And people get stuck on the stupidest things, the stupidest things. And I get tickled. I find it amusing. I laugh at them. I've been working on having an amazing interview with someone, and we may have to do it remote because of sickness and stuff. Because when sickness gets in a family and they have four or five people in the home, it takes longer to get through than just me and David that have two. So we may have to just end up doing a remote stream. And that may be what I have to do. But it's a very eye-opening interview that I want to have with y'all. But I'm trying to make it happen. They're trying to make it happen, but they can't get well. I finally have just gotten well. Watch it soon to get well again. Watch me get sick again. But we're trying to make it happen, and we're actually trying to just get them down here to stay with me for a few days to a week to get it done. But there's a possibility we may just have to go ahead and just check it and do it via stream, live stream, and just bring her in and do it that way. Yes, thank you. That would be lovely. Yes, because I pay for the next to top. And the thing is what people don't understand is that your download speeds are always better, but your upload speeds are crap. So like my download speed is awesome, but my upload speed may be literally 3%. And they don't tell you that when you go to buy unless you're a business, then you get options. They don't tell you when you go to buy internet about, they tell you about your download speed, but they don't tell you about your upload speed. Well, upload speed is just as important, people, just as important. And that is why lots of times if I have something super important to say, or if I'm not just crafting, I will record it and then upload it because it takes longer, but it's clearer. But with this, I'm going to have to go through StreamYard probably to do this. But yeah, I would like it to be less pixelated because it's a very important. And they actually have it quite. I mean, they have quite. We call him the firewall. They have a pretty good firewall in their family. But even if I'm pulled into their stream, I would still like to not look like a podunk pixelated person. Podunk pixelated person. Say that 5 times fast. Hey, the other day I plucked a pheasant. I totally want one of them shirts that says "Have a pheasant plucking day" because the other day I plucked a pheasant. It had been in the freezer for a long time, but I wanted them feathers, so I totally plucked a pheasant. And I'm going to say this however many times it takes me to say something wrong, but I plucked that pheasant. I was plucking that pheasant. That pheasant was fully plucked. I literally need to get on here and just do tongue twisters because I swear I can say anything. I try to screw it up and I can't. Oh, Lord. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. You can send me a message. You can help me because I understand none of that. I do not speak the tech language, even though they do very well. I am more of a motive forensic psychology. I'm scanning people and profiling and stuff like that. And they are more of a tech data, do the math, statistics, and all that stuff. So together, our brains meld very well. We make a very good full person when we meld our brains together. But I'm lost when it comes to the tech part stuff. But and I haven't talked to the hubby yet to see if he's off tomorrow or not. But I probably need to message him because it's almost dinner time. But anyway, I taught you how to make a Christmas centerpiece for your table or just a little accent tray for literally like $1.50. If you get the cheap lights, you might get them for 50 cents. Sandwich baggies. You can do this with a tomato can soup. Just clean it and take the wrapper off. This is just a can that came with a fake succulent. I used it. Glued a coat hanger in it. Straightened the coat hanger out. Wrapped and tied. I cut sandwich baggies in half on the diagonal. Tied them around there. Shaped it like a tree and put LED lights. Always use LED when you have a sandwich bag tree because LED does not get hot and it will not melt your plastic. So everybody go make you a sandwich bag tree. Make it I'm going to have to print mine up a little bit. But when I get them all decked out, I will put a picture on the community page. But right now I've got to give my pug a haircut. I don't look forward to that. I love that dog, but it's punishment because I have to do it inside. Thank God I have all wood floors. But then I have to abuse my Dyson vacuum cleaner beyond all. I mean, it's just horrible. And then if I flip him on the back to cut his nails, you have to sing to him while you cut his nails or he won't sit still. I have an 11-year-old toddler. for a dog. I do. But it's going to be a huge transformation. And he's got to be cut because where I got sick and where we had mom's knee surgery, we lost Granny, mom's knee replacement. And then I had to get the corn in and the gardens in. And then I got sick. He got a little hairy. So he looks like a little Ewok. If he looks at me and goes, good guy, I'm going to crack up because he looks just like Wicket right now. He does. Is church back with Beth? Okay, I'd heard that. I've not seen anything to prove it, but I've heard it a few times now. I really liked Beth. She was so down low and just she wasn't in on the fame. They had a baseline before fame. She knows him before the money before. So it's not like she's after him just for that. I think that they truly had a connection before that. And I like the way that they play off each other and their creativity boost each other. And I noticed that his cyclical behavior slowed when he was with Beth. So she had a very calming demeanor. And then when he got, when he and Beth, I started to say when he got rid of Beth, when he and Beth separated, that sounded really rude. When he and Beth separated, the cyclical behaviors kind of sped back up again. And I've noticed them slowing back down again. So I wondered if maybe they had reached back out to each other because I was like, something good's going on. Something, I think she's good for him too. Of course, I don't get to make his relationship. Sorry, Ryan. I never call him Upchurch. Sorry, Ryan, if you think that I'm getting in your business too much. Well, you don't. You always laugh at me when I get in your business. But I really think, you would go after them flaming hot Cheeto women forever. And I told you they will burn you butt every time. Just like the chips. They go in one end, come out the other, and it hurts. That is what them little flaming hot Cheetos women do to you. But them classic salt and vinegar ladies that go with everything and are good for your gut, good for your system, that's the women you need to look at. And I really think she was one of those. And I hope she is anyway. I hope she's the person I think she is. So I want him to be happy and with the person he's supposed to be with. So that this, because some of these behaviors, he's getting a little long in the tooth now. Of course, I'm older than him, so I can say that. But he's getting a little long in the tooth now, and he's getting a little long in the tooth to have some of these behaviors he's having sometimes. And he can sass me later when if he wants to, but he knows what I'm saying. Sometimes he gets a little too animated and goes back to 17, and when you're almost double that, it's time to learn how to handle things a little bit differently. And he does, for the most part, 98% do really well. But every once in a while, when he's not with or surrounded with the right people, he goes off on them tangents, and I worry about him. And so I like it when he's surrounded by good people. But now that he's got JJ Lawhorn in his corner, because JJ is good, solid country boy, and he ain't going to be moved. He is the Rock of Gibraltar. You ain't going to tell him what he can and can't do and what he can and can't be. By golly, he will tell you. And he's got a beautiful family, and he's very country, very sweet. He did a thank you or a congratulations thing when Haley graduated from UT, when she graduated with 4.0. Sweetest, he's just the sweetest guy. And his oh, did he? I didn't know that. But Kelsey, they've got 2 kids, just the sweetest. Kelsey is at home in the chicken lot in bare feet or in Nashville in heels, and she's gorgeous either way. She's gorgeous either way. I was in a thrift shop and found chicken pants and literally took a picture and sent to her. And I was like, if these would fit you, I will buy them. She loves chicken. She loves her chickens and turkeys. And I knew that Ripta had been there for a while, but I didn't know, because I also knew that Felicia was expecting, so I didn't know how that was going to work out. But I like when Ripta's with him, because Ripta is that Clint Eastwood, John Wayne. It is what it is, and what he says is right, and he'll stick by it. And I really, really think he is just like one of those grounding forces. Very much what Peter Freestone was to Freddie Mercury. And I know Peter Freestone personally, and he was the grounding, calming force for Freddie. And I think that Ripta is very much that for Ron. And so I hope that they continue their friendship and find a way to keep flourishing. He's a grass grazer. Well, he's definitely he's an oddball. You know, he's not like everybody else. But I believe he's got a loyal heart. I believe he's got a loyal heart, and I think when he gets a focus on something, I think he sees it through. And I appreciate people like that because I don't see very many people like that in the world anymore. Yeah, I like him a lot, and he's really calm until the moment calls for him not to be. And I like those people too. Because sometimes the moment calls for you not to be, but very rarely. But when it does, you need that person by your side. So I think he's a pretty decent person. But that's kind of where I am on Ron. Nothing's changed. I've been having so much health issues and doing so much myself that I've been busy. And you know, I listen to Ron probably every day. I am musically bipolar. It will go from gospel to bluegrass to death metal to JJ to Ron to I listened to Ashley McBride, I know, for like 2 hours straight the other day. And I'm sorry, but Brenda Put Your Bra On is the catchiest song I've ever heard in my whole life. I'm sorry, it's funnier than crap too. But Bible in a 44, I think it describes my daddy to a T. And so on Father's Day this year, I sent that link to him on Father's Day. And he said that was the best Father's Day present he ever got. So he liked that song a lot. My daddy's character. But anyway, that's all I want to do now. I've jibber jabbered forever. But I've been trying to get my house clean. Look, I have a tablecloth on my table. And like 99.5% of my crafted stuff in my craft room. I'm so proud of myself. But now I got to give the dog a haircut. So pray for me. No, he's actually really easy to cut. It's just a lot of hair. Takes a while. Toenails are the worst of it because you have to literally sing. You want me to sing the song I sing to Oscar when I cut his nails? Are you ready? You might remember this from a movie, okay? He'll probably come running up here when I sing this. My little Odie Poe has a Swedish smile. Dear little Odie Poe, won't you stay a while? Oscar, are you abandoning me? Here he goes. Come on, you want to finish the song? Come on, you little hairball, you little wicked-looking thing. Come on. Oh, so you and I might settle down in a cottage built for two. Really? Dear little Ludi Poe, sweet little Ludi Poe, my little Ludi Poe, I love you. Oh, I love you. You little fat old man. Okay, that's the only singing you'll get from me. I sing that song to him every day, and then I have a rendition of Winnie the Pooh that's Oodie the Poe. I'm not going to sing that one for you, though. I'm going to end on that note. I'm giving my dog a haircut. Thanks for joining in. Hopefully, now that I have some tech support, the interview will go better. And I got to get some stuff done because if my husband is off tomorrow, I'm going to be up at the butt crack of dawn. So I got to get busy. Y'all go make you a plastic bag tree, a sandwich bag tree, and look at it, put you some lights on it, and say, daggum, how cute that is, and it's sandwich bags. And invite people over, and they'll never know. Promise. Y'all have a good evening. I'm going to go give a dog a haircut. Pray.